ever felt like content creation just takes so much of your time you hardly have time to spend on the big ideas? What if you could automate your whole content production process, leaving you time to actually spend on your business? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use make.com and AI to help you generate high quality content. So whether you're creating social media posts or blog posts, at the end of this video, you will have learned how to create a system that allows you to create content while still saving you hours each day to be able to spend on the things that you value the most. So with that being said, let's head over onto my desktop where I can show you the build-up process itself. Right, so let us begin to build out our automation. This is what we're going to be building out, and I use Airtable for a number of reasons, which you will come to see at some point, but you can use Google Sheets instead. So the first thing I would say is when you've set up your account in Make, you want to make sure everything is set up, and then to get started, we click on creating a new scenario, which is what page you will get. But I would also say make sure that you name your scenario, and I'm just going to call that social media social posts automation, just so I don't clash with any other thing. Now the first thing we want to make sure we do, because we're setting up with Airtable, is to create the trigger. The trigger is what is going to start off the process, the operation for you. You also need to have set up a table in Airtable, and that's one that I've already set up, and this is where all of the information will be output to as you begin to run the scenario. So let's just get started with creating our scenario. So the first step is putting the trigger. The trigger would be that we have already put information in here, and we come here, and this first operation will watch for any new records. Now let's just move that here. What I then need to do is make sure I connect my Airtable with this. So my table is called social media automation ideas, and my base is called social media, and my table is called for ideas. That is our table that we will be looking for information from. I limit to the operation that needs to be run to 1 so that it picks up on new updates every time, and the view that I want is the grid view, which is the full view, and that's what you want. And then what I need to just do is create OK. The trigger field, I say created time, I'll use that, and the label field, I will say the main topic, and then we click OK, and that's us done for that first operation. That triggers it. So let's just we'll go along and I'll test it. The next thing we then need to do is I will add an OpenAI module. The one you want is to create a completion prompt. Now what you want here is to make sure that you have set up your OpenAI connection, which I already have done, and if you haven't, all you need to do is name your connection, get your API key from your account, and also input your organization ID, and then you save. I've done that, so I'm not going to save. Then the model I always use is the 4.0 system, which is the most recent system. The next step, you want to now make sure this is where you give it the instruction. Again, with Airtable, you need to have already created an account and set that up. All of the links to these websites that I'm talking about will be in the description box below, so you can access them. The bonus is I will also give you this blueprint so you can get started with it straight away. Now let's go into adding a message. So this is where I tell ChatGPT its roles. The first place I will, and I just say message content. I say you are an experienced copywriter, and this is where I tell it exactly who it is. But the next step is also then where I would give you the instruction that I want it to, the operation instruction on the operation I want it to carry out. I have saved that, so I'm just going to get that prompt that I have saved. I will also provide you with all of these prompts so that you can make use of it, and I copy and paste here. Here I'm just telling it that it needs to come up with one specific subtopic. This automation really drills down on your topic so that you never want for ideas. It's supposed to come up with different ideas, but my starting point is having my content pillars. And if you don't know what they are, there will be a video that talks to you through how you can generate your content pillar using AI models, or whether it's Claude or ChatGPT. And once we know that, that will be our starting point. And I've designed this in a way that it breaks it down by topical, in a topical structure. So we have one overarching idea, which is your content pillar, and then it looks at a subtopic of that, and then it gives you a specific idea where it breaks it down. So what I'm saying is it needs to use this topic, which is the main topic that we're going to use, and then I say make sure that it's using the main topic. You want to make sure that you're pointing it to the right field, otherwise it would not work. And then I'm also saying that subsequently, when it starts to create all of these topics, it shouldn't repeat. It should have more than enough. So the first thing it needs to do is review what is in the subtopic and make sure it hasn't come up with that idea before, and that's what I'm doing here. And that is subtopic. And my last rule, final rule, is then say it must keep the response below 300 characters because we're using them for post. I click on OK, and we're happy and we're good to go. Okay, I'm missing that. So you need to also include the maximum number of tokens. This is kind of the tokens I will use to generate that. I would just keep it at 100, or I could even do less than that, but let's just say 1,000, and we're okay to go. And that's that. Now the next thing is, so this instruction says watch out for new information and create a subtopic. The next step will then be that I ask it to put that information into Airtable. Now this is what I'm going to do. This is where it starts to get interesting. I'm going to add Airtable, and here I'm saying update this record. So again, we will set up our Airtable, connect all the table we want it to go into, and that's the social media. Same table, we're not deviating from that. I will go into the table and I will add the exact sheet I needed to dump information. Now here's where it gets interesting. I'm saying always look at the new record, so I'm just going to put the record here. It's not specific to that. And then I'm saying update subtopics, and that would be the output of this. So we've put that result in there, and I click on save. That is done. So once it's done that, the next step is then say, okay, now we have our subtopic of the overarching topic. Now I want you to create a specific idea. So I can either just go on and add another module, but easier so that I don't have to, I'm just lazy like that. I just want to clone this and move it here. It joins automatically, and here I can then make my update. It's still an experienced copywriter, but what needs to change here is the prompt. It's slightly different because in the first prompt, I'm asking it to create a subtopic. In this one, I'm asking it to create a specific idea for me. So again, I've saved that, and you will get all of that when you come to download the tool. So here I click on that and I swap it. Here I'm just saying create a specific idea, and I'm giving it more details so that it all works together. And I'm also giving it specifics in terms of it's got to be SEO driven and it's got to be transactional depending on what type, because here we're trying to educate them. So again, I'm asking it what to point to. It's got to be referencing the subtopic that we've generated. It should be a specific idea of the subtopic that has been generated. So it's going to be a specific idea of the subtopic, and actually use this one. Doesn't really matter. Subtopic. I click OK. It takes it. Now, once we've done that, I'm then going to say, once I've run it through, I will run that operation so you can see, and we'll see from the beginning. So this operation says it needs to generate a specific idea. I then again add another Airtable to say drop that information in Airtable. So again, I'm going to clone, makes it shorter. I don't have to do it from scratch. I then go here. What is changing here? Table is not changing, record ID is not changing, but what is outputting here is not the subtopic this time, but it's outputting the specific idea. So that would be the result of this. And then all I need to do is click OK, and we're good to go. Now, I would then say a different tool, which is called Perplexity. Perplexity is an AI tool that searches the internet and digs up relevant information about your request. And the reason I like it is, it goes and gives you facts depending on how you prompt it. But the important thing is that it's not coming up with ideas on its own. It's actually going out to look at what's already out there. So here we're adding another operation using Perplexity, which is I just walked you through, and we're creating a chat completion. You again need to have set up your account with that. If you haven't, click on add, put in the required information, the API, close and save, and then you select your model, which you already have. Here we just need to now add our content. The content here again I've saved, and I will provide you with that as we go along. Control A, Control C, come here and put that content in, and I tell it what role it is, the role of a system. And here I'm specifying where it's getting its information from. So its information has got to come from this specific idea that we have. I'm asking it to look at that table and pick what has already been generated and run with it. I again need to put in the tokens. I'll put 1,000. Oops, not 10,000. And let me get my head away from there. Okay. Click OK, and that's set up. Now here is where it begins to get interesting, but let's run this so you can actually see it in action. So I'm going to go onto my table, and I will go into ideas and just put a title. So let's say your title is wellness for new moms. Let's make sure that it works, and you can see that it actually works. I then come into my scenario and I run the operation. Can you see that's already running? Okay, I'm not sure why it's not taking it. So let's say choose where to start, and I say, oh, there's just one there, and I will run it again. So it started the operation, it's done all of that. Okay, let's find out why that is not working. Last message must have the role user. Okay, so let's change that to user. Okay, and run again, and it's doing its operation. Aha. So at this point we should already we should then have the subtopic, we should have the specific idea, and Perplexity is already taking that information and created a summary in its memory ready to be used. So let's go into here. Aha, so we've got our main topic, we've got our subtopic, and we've got our specific topic. Let's go. So you can see clearly how to create a daily self-care schedule for new mompreneurs, ensuring time for yourself amidst business and baby duties. That, and he explains what it's done. So I then go back into my automation. The next step would then be to begin to disperse that information. Now, because I'm writing 3 different posts, I'll be using the next function, which is called a router. And because the posts outputs are different for the different ones, it needs to factor that in. So I'd rather not use just one prompt for that. So what I do here is use the router. The router just breaks it down into the different streams, and again, easier for me to just pick that, clone it, and move it here because I'm still using. I'll delete that because I don't need that now. And I open that. Same system. What is different here is the prompt. So I'll delete that and go and take my prompt, which I've already prepared for. Was that, let's see, was that Facebook? Okay, it doesn't really matter. So I'll just pick one and take the Twitter as the first one. Control A, Control C, and I come here and put that prompt in. This just says you're professional Twitter copywriter, you specialize in viral content. I tell it where it needs to pick that information. Now that information will be coming from Perplexity, if you remember. And the way to get that is you go into Perplexity, choices, messages, and content. So it's picking that information from there. We click OK to save it. I then again clone that, and all I'm doing this time is to change the prompt. So I will clone, I'll put that here, and we've got a third one that is going to come out, and I will clone and put that here as well. So that way it cuts short our actions. Now, so here we're fine with that. Here I will also change the label so I know what I've done and what I haven't. Twitter, and click OK. Let's say the second one, to change that, just click on this and then you can see the label. Let's say the second one is LinkedIn. Okay, and then the third one is Facebook. If you wanted Instagram as well, you can also put that in. All you need to do is just make sure you set up your account, and you can have as many streams as possible that is taking information from. Now, so we click, that's fine, and we click into that. All I'm doing here is changing that prompt, and I will go into my saved, and I think that was LinkedIn. Control C, I come back here, Control A, Control V, now another thing that I did with this was I also gave it examples of what sort of posts that have worked well, and I think it would be a great idea for you to do that as well. With AI tools, the best thing is, apart from giving them specific instructions, also help them to understand through examples so they know what guidelines they're working to. So let's just add that and we're good to go, and we'll do the same thing for the last one as well. So let's pick our LinkedIn, Control A, Control C, I come back here and put that post in, Control A, Control V. Again, more examples, and I select where it's retrieving its information from, which is choices, messages, and the output, and I click on OK. Now we are right here, and that's fine. So the next thing we then say is your output needs to then be posted onto Airtable. So here, what I'm doing here, again I'm cloning that. It just makes it a lot easier. I clone that, edit it for this particular stream, which is my Twitter stream. Nothing's changing, and I'm saying post that information into the Twitter section. So what it's posting is the result of this, and I click OK, and that's all that needs to change. And I'm cloning that now for my subsequent ones. Let's do that. Clone, and then we know, I mean, there's no chance of you getting it wrong, because that would highlight that it's pointing to the wrong information anyway. So for this, we're doing LinkedIn second, and I'm saying put that result from that into here, and we're good. And we'll do the same as this for our Facebook post. It's thinking. Delete that, and I click on my Facebook and I tell it to put that result in here as well. Right, so now we have all of our reports there. One thing I will also say is always save. Don't leave it. It does not auto save, so you want to make sure that you're saving your scenarios. Now, proceeding on, so here we've created our subtopics, we've created our subtopic, created our specific idea that we're working on, and we've created our Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook post. The next thing is now to generate images. If you're creating an image post, then generate the images here, and if you're just doing a specific post, you can end it here. But there is one last step that I want to include, and I'll help you understand why I've included that. So with this one, I am then adding another OpenAI. Now, because this one is an image, I'm actually looking for the one that tells it to generate an image. So I've added that. It's going to ask me what model. I'm using the Dalle 3. And my prompt, again, I have edited, and I will be using the same font for all three of them. So we're not going back and forth. And I put my prompt in. I click on, no, I think I need to, so I need to tell it what information is creating. And I'm saying, go into here, select the specific idea, and we click OK. It'll be the same, so I'm cloning it for all three of them. Clone. That is telling me I need to select the specific idea. Okay. Click OK. Same thing here. I mean, I'm sure you can see it's quite easy to maneuver once you know what you're doing. Now we've got it to generate an image. Again, I'll ask to update my same record, which I'm going to clone that, and this time I'm changing the field that is being updated to so the field that will be updated here would be the image URL field. So we will be pointing that's for Twitter, and this is what I'm updating, and I am going into data and selecting that URL. Under normal circumstances, you will see an output, but because we haven't run this operation, you don't see anything just yet. So I click OK, and then I will clone that. Put that there. And it's updating that record. So I'm telling it to, again, the URL that needs to be updated is not Twitter this time. Now it's LinkedIn, but we're picking information from the specific output. And lastly, we'll do that for Facebook. Facebook image URL, we'll get that. And I click save. Now the other thing I also ask it to update, I'm not sure where that is now. Yeah, Facebook image URL. Okay. Oh, okay, I haven't deleted what was there prior. I'm wondering why. Yeah, see, but the thing is, this easily does tell you where the errors are, and you can troubleshoot. I'm just auto aligning so I can see everything that we've created in one view. Now the other thing that I update here is I also ask it to update the field called publish here. And the reason I let's go in here, I've got this field called publish. Now the reason I've got that field is I always like to have the human element in my process, so that somebody's actually going in. If we're happy with the post that has been generated, then we will we're happy, we approve it. So at the initial run, I tell it to update this field to AI generated, so that when somebody goes in, they can update it to approved, and then the second operation that actually takes the information that's been posted and gets sent to your different social media platforms is kickstarted, and it can start straight away. So let's now go back into our automation, and I can say, whilst you're updating the data, I want you to also update the publish field, and turn off the mapping and select make it AI generated. And I'll do the same for all three. And yeah, so that's it for this automation. This is enough for you to get started and moving on to creating your own automation. Let's add item, turn that off, select my preference, and that's a go. And that's it. We've got our own automation. So before we run, because I just want to use the first one, I'll go in here and take away that so that we can run it again. I'll just delete that. Delete idea, and then I create a new one and say wellness for, or let's say self-care for new moms, self-care for female entrepreneur. Hope I've got that. So that's my new input. Now let's go into make, and I will ask it to run the operation. So it started. It's just a matter of waiting and seeing what we come up with. So let's just wait. Okay, so it goes to the first stream. It's creating the image now, and it should be updating the record. And it will do the same thing for the second stream. Okay, it does take its time, but it's quite quick in its operations anyway. So whilst that's waiting, one thing also is that you can schedule this for on the days that you want it to run. That's all there. What we need to then do is look into our social media, and you will see that it's done everything. So we've got a main topic, we've got a subtopic, we've got a specific idea, we've got our Facebook post, which and the image, we've got the Twitter post and the image, we've got the LinkedIn. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not generated a URL image. I will go and check why, but generally it would create everything, and it's updated that as AI generated as well. So that way it tells me nobody has reviewed it. And let's just have a look at what is generated for Facebook. Mornings can make a break. The right routine can reduce stress. Here's how some top women lead. And I think that's a good one. If you want to put your own spin on it, then you can just make a few changes, and then when you're happy, you can then update that to approved. But there you have it. That let's see why we don't have an image for LinkedIn. This is LinkedIn image. did show that it's created something. Here's a yeah, so it does have I'm not sure why it hasn't updated that, because it should have LinkedIn. I see. I've asked it to put LinkedIn image. I've not updated that, so now we can see where the issue is, and we can put that in, and that's it, and we're good to go. So that is your full automation. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and share. And if you like other videos like this, again, drop just keep coming back. I have different types of videos on this channel for you. And if you want a copy of this blueprint, a link will be below in the comment box. You can go there, download it, and you can start using it straight away. You also get access to all the prompts that I've used in this video. And yes, I'll see you in the next video. If there are any specific videos you would like me to create, please leave me a comment in the comment box below, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.